All right, guys, I'm gonna break down a quick hack or a quick tip that you guys could do with your players or your son or your daughter to help them steal bases. Now, I know softball's a little bit different than baseball, but I'm gonna show you, for a baseball player taking a lead off, I'm gonna give you a couple little hacks. And the actual funny story about this, I was training some professional baseball players, and one of the kids was from the Oakland Athletics. His name's Tyler Latendorf, second round pick, first pick, second round. It's like the 31st pick overall when he was like 19. So I started training him, and I showed him this drill, and I started walking him through exactly what I'm about to show you. And he goes, I've only heard that once in my life. At this point, he was like 25 or 6. So he'd been in the big leagues. He had been an MLB guy for like 5 or 6 years. He goes, I've only heard that said one time. And do you know who it is? Ricky Henderson, all-time leading base stealer. Only other person that's ever said what I'm about to teach you. He said he's worked with other speed trainers, worked with everyone. I didn't even know Ricky did it or knew about it. It's just something that I've developed over the years, and I've coached baseball, so I know a lot about it. And that was and I was a good base stealer myself. Like, I was a 6'4", 60 guy. I was fast. I never really got caught stealing. But I'm gonna show you just a quick hack that you guys can do. And apparently Ricky Henderson does it. So if there's anyone in the world that's doing this, that's the guy. I think the next closest in the MLB stolen base record, I think he had 1,400 something. The next closest is like 500 or something like that. Active players, I think it was Juan Pierre, like 450. So no one's even close to breaking that record. No one will ever break Ricky's record. So pay attention to this drill. Now, when you're taking a lead off, rule number 1, you never cross behind, ever. Cross behind, it's harder to get back to the bat. So if I were to cross in front, so actually you don't even cross. If I were to cross in front, same thing, I'm not gonna be able to get back. Cross behind, can't get back. No crossing whatsoever. It's just here, and it steps out like this, okay? Just straight out like this. And wherever you're comfortable, or wherever the kid's comfortable, it really doesn't come down to how fast they are. It comes down to their reaction time, which could be a whole other video on how quickly they can react to a pitcher. And you can do a lot of different things where instead of having them do just basic sprints, or instead of having them steal bases, and I'm gonna walk out and just keep it rolling and show you that right after this. But I'm just gonna continue with this real quick. So it's here. You take your lead off, you're staring at the pitcher, boom. You can get a little more, get a little more, get a little more. If you're not comfortable with this, if it's not a step and a dive back, don't do it. That's rule number 1. If you can't step, dive back, don't do it. There are some guys who can come out like this, and depending where the pitcher's at, back turned to you, some guys walk out like this and then they get that step. Little guys, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know. It really depends on the pitcher and the pickoff and if he's lefty or righty. But to play it safe, you would just come here and just come straight up just like this. Okay, that's step number 1. That's the lead up. Now, I know for a fact I can step, dive, and get back. So I'm gonna throw the stopwatch down here. If I were to step, dive, and get back, it's here, step, and when I slide, I'm going to the back corner, back here. All right? I'm not going to the front, because if it's a lefty, bing, they're gonna get you. If it's a righty, this is where they're gonna be. And they're gonna get you. All right, so if it's a righty and they're trying to come pick you off, you're on the back corner. You wanna create as much distance from where the ball is going to be coming from. And that goes for every single base. All right, back to my leadoff. Watching the pitcher, so you know the dive. Now, the next phase, now I'm here, right? You don't have your hands on your knees. I'm just doing that just to show you my feet. So my feet are here. Right now, I'm perfectly square to the third base dugout or the third base on deck circle. All right? I don't want to be perfectly square. What you want to do is you want to drop your foot back to basically split the difference of your other foot. So you can come over and just zoom in and show them an angle where they'll see that. So it's here, straight through. So if we drew a line, I'm basically cutting this foot. That's step 1. Step 2 is you open up your foot. So you almost want to point it between the shortstop and third baseman. So right here, I'm leading off from first. My foot's pointed between short and third. I'm right here, I'm athletic. Now the reason we do that is because if I was square like this, what's my first move? Boom. That's a split second, right? That's 0.1, 0.2. If I'm here, my first step is bink, gone. So it takes away a step. And as you guys know, stealing base is bang, bang. You can't get there. If the throw beats you by just a little bit, that's all you had to do, open up your foot. And that's what I told Tyler with the Oakland A's. And I hope we get him inside trainer bin doing some infield drills. He already said he's gonna be posting some content. He's with the Toronto Blue Jays now. But and that's what he said. He goes, I've never heard anyone say that with the opening the foot. The only other person was Ricky Henderson. So that made me feel good because I'm a diehard baseball fan, if you can't tell. All right, so the other thing, now we're gonna work on actually stealing bases. So that's a great hack to be, you know, have that little edge, stealing bases. But a way to train, so I'm actually gonna come up. Adam, actually, will you help me here? So I'm gonna have, this is what we're gonna do. You can back up. So just take a lead up a little bit, or actually get in just a stance like this, like you're gonna steal base. Just right there is fine. It doesn't have to be crazy. So he's gonna steal a base. Now on me, look at me. So the way you gotta train your players, you gotta get them doing, especially if they're able to take leadoffs, right? Some of the young kids can't take leadoffs yet, but it's still good to train them on sensory. Train them on you know, sound, on movement, whatever. So whatever sport they play, you wanna train them on that. In this case, baseball, base stealing, you wanna train them on the pitcher's movement. So there's righties and there's lefties. So you can actually come here, Ryan, and just shoot this for me. So I'm a righty pitcher, come right here. I'm a righty pitcher, and he's gonna steal off me. All I want you to do is just jog out when I lift this left leg on the second, when I come to the mound like this. So it's here, and then I come set, and then as soon as he sees this leg go up, he can then go. Because as soon as that leg moves, base stealer knows I gotta go to the plate. All right, so we'll do it again, here. And then he goes, and he trains his reaction. So as he practices that, he'll get better. As your team practices that, they'll get better. So the more that you have that, don't just say, ready, go, and then have them sprint or run poles or whatever. Have a purpose. Every single sprint you do, have a purpose with it. You need to be doing things with your team or with your players where there's a purpose behind it. So if they're gonna run a regular sprint and they play baseball and it's baseball season, don't just have them go on when you drop your hand. Don't have them go on the whistle or go on the sound or whatever. Have them go just straight here. As soon as I move, go, boom. Or if I'm a lefty pitcher, now this is a little different. If I'm a lefty, I can still pick them off, so then you gotta watch their feet. So if I'm looking at you, lefty, pitcher comes here, pitcher crosses his foot back, now he's gotta go to the plate, otherwise it's gonna be a balk. Okay, so I'm here, that would be go time, right? And then there's stealing on first movement. So as soon as the lefty comes set and moves that foot, you go, and he can still try to pick you off at that point because he didn't cross the plane. So I can come here, and then he could pick you off and you could already be running. All right, so these are some other things that's a little more advanced, and I could shoot a whole video on base stealing and some hacks to steal bases. I was only thrown, in my entire high school career, I was only thrown out, I believe, one time, and the time I was thrown out, I was picked off 16 times in a row at first, and I was probably out like 4 of them. I just kept diving and getting back, diving and getting back, diving and getting back, and our coach kept being like, get more, and I get more, dive, get back, get back. And I did that 16 times in a row. 17th time I went, because I had the green light. I didn't need the steal. Our steal sign was this. I'm getting like back to the moment, but he didn't give me this. He would just point at me, and that means I can go on my own. So I always had the green light, which I want to make your kids have the green light for the rest of their lives. They don't even need the sign from the coach. They just get the green light. When they get under the base, they can do what they want. That's what you need to have your kid be doing if you want them to get to the next level. So if you guys like this video, actually just hit us up. You know where to find us: Facebook group, email customer service, DM us on Instagram. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of you on Facebook anyway, so you can hit us up. If you want us to do more videos like this and add them to the trainer bin, just let us know. Yo, real quick, because you're watching and you made it this far, I want to give you a free gift. Just shoot me a DM at twice the speed and say, let's get it. When you send me let's get it, I'm going to send you a free warm-up that only you will see. Always, guys, subscribe, turn on the notifications, share these videos with your teammates, with your coach, with your parents, or if you're the parent watching, share it with your kids. We are here to change the way that athletes train forever. All right, as always, be sure you subscribe to the channel. There's a little circle next to me on the right-hand side. Be sure that you're clicking that and you're subscribing to the channel right now. Turn on those notifications and leave a comment and let me know what sport you play, and I'll be reaching out shortly. Talk soon, guys.